No, so again, like I said earlier, the punishment doesn't fit the crime.
No.
On one hand, if you dish out the same thing to your partner, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 3 for him.
Yeah.
And if he dished out to you, it's 100.
Yeah.
That's not really fair to that person.
No.
Like, how the fuck is that person supposed to be able to cope with that?
But not everyone has the same level of emotional intelligence. So at the same time, you just got to like kind of work it out.
It's still unfair.
Yeah.
This is
It's
true
not-
because
It's not fair, definitely.
It's
but
not fair.
It's
not
also
fair.
something they can't really like control or
Well, it
really
can
do
be
much about.
with therapy, with
therapy.
CBT and whatever, DBT. I think you can. And so your siblings,
Mhm.
your sisters that you had mentioned earlier, and let's say even now when it comes to your partner, who's the father of your younger children, if you guys were to not fix things and you were to move on, would that be difficult for you to let him go and say, you know what, I got to move on. I'm gonna deal with my kids, but I'm not dealing with you anymore? Would that devastate you, losing him? In the state of mind you're in right now.
I think what would be devastating is the thought of what you thought was going to happen. Like thinking that you were going to have the family and the happy life and that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that would devastate you. But
Losing
for me,
him.
personally, losing what I wasn't happy with anymore isn't what, like, it's like losing an old shoe with a hole in it. Are you going to keep that shoe with the hole in it? No. You're going to throw that shoe away.
No, if Fiona, the shoe doesn't even have a hole and it's fucking brand new sitting in the closet and never even been taken out of the box.
Well, we're talking about two different shoes then.
No, we're not.
I'm talking about the one with the hole.
No, but that hole is the hole that you perceive that's there, or you yourself put the hole in the shoe.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
But
Sometimes once that hole's
No winning
there,
with her. BPD.
no, once the hole's there, there's
all
no
about
fixing the
perception.
hole.
no. There is fixing the hole.
Yeah.
If you take responsibility for
Mindfulness.
putting the hole in the shoe.
Mindfulness.
Yeah, mindfulness, acknowledging, saying, "Hey, you know what?
Well, that's where we're different then, because I just see a broken shoe and it's garbage.
No,
But that's what mindfulness does.
That's what
It like basically will take your brain and like rewire it so that when you see that, you don't see the broken shoe. You might see it for a second, but then you're like, wait, I'm seeing that because I've seen broken
Reassess the
shoes all my
situation.
life.
Yes, there you go."
And that's why I'm seeing that. It's not the shoe's fault that it looks broken to me.
So you have to unlearn
Yeah.
your thinking pattern and then relearn a new thinking pattern, because you have to first of all acknowledge that, okay, there is something wrong with my thinking pattern, and you want to have the desire to change that into what's normal, right? And then like Luma was saying, that you have to now, when you look at that shoe, like she said, you're not going to say, oh yeah, just another shoe with a hole in it. Like my whole life, I've always seen shoes with holes. And when that happens, I discard them. You have to now look at it and saying it is still a functioning shoe.
Yeah,
And
no,
it just
it's
needs
true.
to be patched up. And I played a role in chewing that hole in there. I did that.
Yeah.
And if I change my ways, this shoe can actually be very comfortable because I used to love wearing it. I put the hole in, which made it not comfortable, right? But I can fix that hole and take responsibility for the role that I played. And that in itself is 50% of the work.
Yeah.
Then your partner, even if he only puts in 20, you're ahead of the game. You're at 70%. But if you're at 0 and this guy puts in 50, it's a 50-50 chance. Or if he won't put in 50. He's a human. He might only put in 40. But you just changing your way of thinking on how you always have been perceiving things because of your trauma, that you have this kind of cynical view on things.
It's judgment.
Yeah.
It's going to fail anyhow. So fuck it.
Yeah.
Right. Cause I'm not going to be happy. It's just not going to happen. And I'm tired of working on it. So I'm just going to give up because fuck it. You know what? Forget about just giving up. I'm going to set that shoe on fire.
Right as well, right?
Right. Or I'm going
Might as
to,
well.
tie the shoelaces and throw onto like some fucking, electrical wire and
There's a
that's it
lighter
and walk
fuse
away.
to it.
Right. So a lot of the perception is in your head.
Yeah.
And the mind is an extremely mischievous child. You have to think with your heart, which is very hard to do. So listen to what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
Okay. If you end up, what did we say with the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
And Einstein said that.
Einstein.
So your mind will make you believe that if you do the same thing over and over again, that's perfectly healthy and it's normal, and the result will be what it's really meant to be. No, that's a distorted way of looking at things. So if you got a new box of shoes and in the first week you poked a hole in them, and you're like, oh, it's got a hole in it. And then next week you got another box of shoes, and one night you raged and you poked a hole in them. Oh, it's got a hole. That's just going to keep happening. That's going to keep happening.
Holy shoes.
But if you actually work, because they say that BPDs they have a lot of empathy. I think they have empathy for themselves.
No, we do have empathy.
They do have empathy.
How do you show it? Please tell me.
I don't know how, but I have it. I don't show it very well.
No, you don't.
I don't show it at all.
If you were to go to
I'm
a
very
pet
good
store
at giving
and
advice.
you
You
saw a cat
do,
in a
because you're a
cage,
silent BPD.
you
Yeah.
would cry.
Not her.
Okay. So
No.
some of them
No,
can.
or
Not
like,
at all.
not cry, but you'd feel emotion for that cat.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
No, yeah,
I would.
No,
I would.
no, you would.
Stevie would.
You okay?
Stevie's been missing for 4 days.
Exactly. But if
Yeah,
you
and
saw
I'm
a person
concerned.
in a
Yeah,
cage,
now you're concerned.
Sorry, go ahead. You were saying about a cat.
if you saw a cat in a cage, you'd feel emotion. You'd want to play with it. You'd feel affection towards it, and you'd tear up a little bit. You wouldn't cry, but you'd feel a
I
little-
wouldn't cry,
Now-
but I
now-
would get
now-
emotional
now-
for the
Yeah,
cat.
Replace that cat
with a human.
with her current partner. She saw him suffering,
Fuck that.
and he hurt her.
I've been taking care of his sick ass all weekend, and
I
I'm
mean-
still not happy with him because he's been sick, and I've had to give him medicine and do things.
That's nothing. That's medicine.
Guess what? When you don't like somebody so much and you're still giving them medicine and you're helping them, there's a little bit
That's
of
not empathy.
There's some empathy there.
That's not empathy.
He was sick.
That's what empathy is.
Okay, well then it's sympathy.
Psychotic.
That's not even sympathy. That's just doing it based on convenience because he's sick.
It's not convenience for me.
No, but is he going to? Obviously, he has to work and shit, right? He's got some
he was off all
responsibilities.
fucking weekend. He could have taken care of himself. I was just nice enough to do the things that I didn't have to do.
Empathy. You know, what is empathy? I want you guys to
Empathy is
your idea of what
being
empathy
able
is.
to see yourself in someone else's shoes and to resonate with them.
Vice versa. Being
I
able
do
to,
that.
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, you're right. Being able to see yourself
Yeah.
in that
Be able to
person's
say, like,
shoes.
I've been in that situation. I know what you're going through. I can help you, or I can understand you. I
or
can
even
listen to
even
you.
if you haven't been through that situation, to empathize and say, you know what, this person just lost his fucking job, okay, and he's really sad, and I'm fucking partying and not giving a shit. You know what? Even though I never lost a job because I'm amazing, I do understand what this person he's worried
Wouldn't that
about.
be compassion though?
Compassion is not necessarily kind of being in their shoes. So I'm going to quickly look up the definition of empathy.
Yeah.
But
I thought empathy you had to have like a personal stake in it. I'm not sure. I just remember having to write a paper on what empathy meant,
have
and
empathy.
I came with that. What?
I come with empathy.
I think that what you have is distorted perception of empathy.
No, I do.
And-
You're only seeing the really bad sides of me right now.
No. I'm saying what I mean by that is I believe that people with BPD have a lot of pity for themselves.
Yes.
We do, but we still can feel for other people.
You can feel for the people, you don't act on that feeling. That's the difference.
We
No.
can. Yeah.
No, when you lash out, you don't know when to stop.
No, because if
No, you don't
somebody
know.
is going through something, say Cheyenne's going through a situation, whatever, or she's having a manic moment, her issue, I can empathize with her and be like, okay, I've gone through whatever, and I'll try and sit and help her to get herself where she needs to be because I've been through it. I can empathize with her in those situations. I got empathy.
But then you also yelled at me when I tried to adopt 2 dogs, and you're like, "What are you gonna do to your husband in your house? Oh my God, Cheyenne!"
Because I proved a point. What are you doing?
But if you're lashing out, would you still have
No,
empathy?
no, that's where they
No.
lack it. So
Yes.
that's the whole point.
Yes, when I'm lashing out, I have no empathy at all.
So a person who doesn't have BPD,
Yeah.
let's say they get angry at their partner, okay, and they said some mean things.
Mhm.
They swore, they raised their voice. Within 20 minutes to an hour tops, they're going to feel bad, really bad. And they're going to want to go there, hug the person, apologize, say, listen, I lost it. I love you. I really care about you. Please forgive me. I should have said what I said.
Maybe in a week.
BPD will not do that, right? A person with BPD is not going to do that. Because if they did, then they'd be able to regulate their emotions.
I used to be able to do that, but not for a long
So I'm saying if
time.
you did, then you wouldn't have all of these damaged relationships,
Yes.
right? So The definition of empathy is the ability to sense other people's emotions coupled with the ability to imagine what someone else might be thinking or feeling. So a person with BPD, when they're triggered and the rupture happens and all the trauma comes out, they're so consumed by that they're unable to even think about what the other person's going through based on their reaction. Because, some doctors have said that having BPD is like having third-degree burns over 90% of your body at all times. So what happens is when you are raging, all you're thinking about is all the pain that you're feeling, and this person caused it. Meanwhile, they only just had a little disagreement with you.
Yeah.
All the rest, that 99% you attached on, is all in you. So during that time, you have no empathy for that person. You want to fucking kill them. I mean, you won't kill them, but you want to destroy them. You want them crying. You want them broken because that's how you feel. So you project whatever you're feeling onto them.
Yes.
You want them to be as hurt as you are, right? And then you're hoping that they're going to rage at you.
So that it gives you a reason.
There you go. You can say, see, I knew you're a piece of shit.
That's me.
That's dark.
It is. Very dark.
It's like stabbing someone over and over again.
But the best part is, which is weird, Cam, with her having BPD and I've observed it, is for some reason she can actually control it and regulate her emotions when she's working, but in customer service. Like she's dealing with customers, but for some reason a customer will have said or do something, but she can.
That's because she just mentioned earlier. That's because that individual, she doesn't have a close relationship with them. So they're not going to trigger her as easily.
No, that's not true either, though, because the people that jumped me outside of the bar, I don't know them personally. No. But the thing is, technically, I really don't even care about the situation. It's more of the fact of me with my mental issue is I want to get every single one of them because my mental health tells me that every single one of them needs to get touched. Not because they need to get touched, because I have to. But it's
no. I understand, but I'm saying
in my head, I have to prove a point.
Someone jumping on you or jumping you is very different than dealing with some idiot customer. They're not going to trigger you as much. The trigger's a lot smaller. It's not going to cause a rupture where you have a raging episode.
Yeah.
Right? Someone like, for example, you might be having a very bad day. You might have had 4 or 5 triggers, and the 6th one is it. You're gonna fucking blow.
Yeah.
So that is a different scenario.
Yeah.
But if you go to work and you're okay and you're dealing with an idiot customer, you're not going to full out rage on them because that's not going to cause a rupture. But someone that you're close to, another thing, and you can let me know if I'm right. I know I am, but we're just going to say it for the sake of it. Don't roll your eyes, Melissa. When you
listen to him,
rage,
he's a leader. With the
Hilarious.
hood and everything.
When you rage at your partner because they triggered you and they caused that rupture and all that pain to come out. So try to think of a time when that happened and you had nothing but hatred for them.
Yep.
You also think about all the other times they hurt you.
Yep.
And you ruminate later, right? You think about all the times that person hurt you. It all comes back, right?
Yeah.
Every little wrong they've done
Down
to
to the
you.
littlest name being called stupid.
And you remember all of it.
Yep.
But you're incapable of remembering even one good thing at that moment that they've done for you.
It's because of the black and white thinking.
Yeah. Well, you don't
true.
have BPD. That's not true.
It is
Thank
true.
you.
Because
It is true.
Like, it's really hard
So
to,
even at that
get in the
moment,
gray
let's say if it
area.
was one of your sisters or if it was someone that's very close to you, they may have done some good things. They may have looked after your kids. They helped you financially.
Yep.
They may have taken you in.
That's great.
But at that moment,
You're
because
gonna
you
go
hate
like
them,
this.
and you don't remember
You don't care.
any good thing.
No.
Even if somebody says, "Hey, listen, Fiona,
They
I
could have
understand."
gave me like a lung transplant. And I
Whatever.
would be like, fuck you. That's just how it is.
But then later on, do you, because obviously you ruminate, right?
Mhm.
Negative thoughts, right? Both of you do that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That consumes you,
Yeah.
especially after an episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all you do 24/7 is think negative thoughts about that person and the hurt they caused you. And you think about the negative things that
Well,
happened to
sometimes
you.
I'll let it leave my mind and I'll think about other things. But then as soon as that person or that thing pops in my head, then it's just pure rage again.
Yeah.
So, and it's all negative,
Yes.
right? So you eventually do come to a moment where you kind of come to peace with yourself. So you isolate, you do what you got to do to fucking cool down,
Yeah.
whether it's an hour or 10 days, but you eventually do. Do you then actually think some positive stuff about your sister,
Yeah.
about that person?
Yeah, then you'll be like, "Oh, mean, why did I do that?" And then you're like, "Yeah, but fuck you, because you're an asshole." And then you're like, "Oh, it's a back and forth." It's very sick.